It's finally happening. You feel it already, the trembling of the unseen, the electric static in the air, the whispers of the cosmos calling your spirit to attention. This is no ordinary night, no ordinary shift. The lunar eclipse has ended. In the sky, yes, but its shadow lingers like a phantom echo, dripping through dimensions, seeping into the fabric of your reality. Most people will laugh it off, dismiss it as superstition, but you, the chosen, cannot ignore what your bones already know. You feel the veil thinning, the edges of illusion quivering, the deep tides pulling at your subconscious like an undertow, trying to drag you into forgotten depths. The after effects of this eclipse are not just celestial residue, they're spiritual tests, traps laid by forces that thrive in confusion and chaos. You are walking through a cosmic battlefield disguised as your everyday life. Every conversation, every thought, every temptation in the days ahead is charged with amplified energy, some designed to elevate you, others designed to entangle you. The moon has opened a mirror, but also a maze, and only those with awakened eyes will discern the path. Do not mistake what is happening for coincidence. The eclipse may be over astronomically, but spiritually it has only just begun. The air feels heavier, doesn't it? Not with oxygen, but with memory, ancient memory. The lunar eclipse has stirred the archives of your soul, awakening karmic contracts, unfinished stories, unresolved wounds you thought you buried long ago. You see, eclipses are not random shadows across the sky. They are celestial alarms, cosmic resets, designed to bring hidden truths to the surface. But this eclipse was different. Its after effects do not fade with the sunrise. Instead, they hang over you like invisible threads, tugging at your emotions, magnifying your fears, and amplifying your desires. The chosen ones feel it the most because your frequency is already elevated, already tuned to higher realms. That means the distortion, the interference, the chaos, it all comes to you first and most intensely. Others around you may feel restless, irritable, even reckless, but for you, this energy is sharper, louder, undeniable. It's as if the moon itself has placed a magnifying glass over your spirit, exposing everything, your strengths, your weaknesses, your unspoken longings. And here lies the danger. When the shadows rise, they do not arrive as enemies you can clearly see. No, they arrive as temptations, distractions, impulses, disguises. Every trap is dressed as a desire. Every illusion whispers, like a friend. The eclipse aftermath is a labyrinth of mirrors, and one wrong turn could cost you not just your peace, but your alignment. You may have noticed it already in subtle ways. Dreams more vivid than usual. Conversations that feel like deja vu. Sudden waves of emotion that don't seem to belong to you. These are not accidents. These are aftershocks, reverberations of the eclipse still shaking through your energy field. The veil between the seen and the unseen is thinner now, and what leaks through can feel overwhelming. Illusions rise like fog, obscuring what is real. People around you may suddenly reveal hidden sides, masks slipping without warning. Technology may glitch, communications may misfire, misunderstandings may spiral into chaos. This is because the eclipse has destabilized the false structures, leaving cracks where shadow forces slip in. If you're not grounded, if you're not discerning, you may get pulled into storms that were never meant for you. But understand this, these storms are not punishments. They are mirrors. They are showing you what you have outgrown, what you can no longer ignore, what you must finally face. Still, the traps are real, and they are waiting for those who walk blindly. The chosen ones must move carefully now, like divine warriors walking. Through a field of invisible tripwires, every step matters. Every choice echoes louder than usual, rippling not just in your personal timeline, but in the collective fabric of consciousness. This is why the eclipse aftermath feels so intense. Because timelines are shifting, rearranging, collapsing, and reforming in real time. One decision could align you with your highest destiny. Another could entangle you in karmic webs you thought you escaped. The cosmos is watching. The ancestors are watching. The hidden ones are watching. And in this heightened hour, distractions, are designed to look like opportunities, while divine tests are disguised as obstacles. The moonlight hides what the soul must see, and only those with awakened sight can pierce the veil. If you are careless, if you are impulsive, you risk stepping into traps laid not just by the physical world, but by the spiritual one as well. This is why I say, don't go outside not just physically, but energetically. Don't expose yourself recklessly to the storms of the collective. Protect your field, guard your mind. The traps are baited and waiting, and here lies the urgency. You were chosen not because it would be easy, but because you were built for this exact season. You feel things others don't. You sense currents they cannot name. That is both your gift and your burden. The eclipse has amplified everything, pulling shadows to the surface, forcing truths into the open, stretching the boundaries of your endurance. In the days and nights that follow, you will feel pulled toward conflict, toward temptation, toward chaos energy. But you must remember, not every pull is meant to be followed. Some are snares designed to drain your light. Others are illusions, meant to delay your mission. This is not superstition. It is prophecy, a warning encoded in the stars. The traps are many, but so are your protections. The chosen cannot afford to sleepwalk through this season. You must be vigilant, intentional, discerning. For the eclipse has set the stage, but it is your choices in these after effects that determine whether you rise or whether you fall. The battlefield is here, and the time is now. The reason this eclipse lingers is because it was not just a lunar shadow. It was a convergence, and not in the fabric of space-time. Lunar eclipses are always powerful, but when the moon crosses the Earth's shadow, it doesn't simply darken the night sky, it imprints a vibration on your very soul. This vibration does not fade like moonlight. It reverberates, echoing through the unconscious for weeks, even months. The energy is sticky, clinging, demanding integration. This is why you feel unsettled, why sleep is restless, why emotions surge without warning. The moon governs the hidden waters of the psyche, and when eclipsed, it stirs everything that was buried at the bottom. Forgotten fears rise, dormant desires awaken. Old karmic threads tug at your spirit. And because the moon rules cycles, these echoes don't vanish when the shadow passes. They replay, looping through your reality until you face them. The aftermath is not the absence of the eclipse, but the harvest of it, and there is more. This eclipse did not stand alone. It was amplified by planetary alignments that act as cosmic magnifiers. Saturn, the keeper of karma, casts its stern gaze upon the moon's shadow, forcing accountability where you once had excuses. Mars, planet of conflict and fire, added fuel to already heated emotions, provoking arguments, rash decisions, sudden impulses. Neptune, master of illusions, whispered, lies into the fog, making the false appear true and the true appear doubtful. These planetary voices braided together into a single vibration, intensifying, distorting, testing. This is why you feel pulled in so many directions at once. The eclipse aftermath is not a single note. It is a dissonant symphony, a spiritual orchestra that forces you to hear what you've been avoiding. And for the chosen, every note is louder, every test sharper, every consequence immediate. The moon is not simply a ball of rock in the sky. It is a mirror of the unconscious. And in eclipse season, that mirror does not reflect beauty. It reflects shadows. What you refuse to see in yourself will now walk toward you in the form of people, situations, temptations. The unconscious is being pulled upward like tides under. A full moon, and suddenly what was hidden is illuminated in eerie, distorted light. This is why arguments erupt over small things. This is why past lovers suddenly reappear. This is why addictions feel louder, cravings sharper, distractions more seductive. The moon has turned the soil of your psyche upside down, and everything buried is now on the surface. You cannot outrun it. You can only face it or be consumed by it, and because you are chosen, your sensitivity to these currents is magnified. You are not built to live numb, blind, or asleep like the masses. Your spirit was tuned for higher frequencies, and that Means when distortions flood the field, you feel them first, hardest. Others may shrug off their restlessness, but you feel the earthquake in your bones. Others may laugh off their strange dreams, but you know they are messages, warnings, prophecies. Others may fall into chaos unaware, but you sense the traps before they snapshot. This sensitivity is your protection, but it is also why you are targeted. Shadow forces thrive on distraction, disorientation, and what better prey than the awakened, the luminous, the ones carrying light. Remember this, you are not attacked because you are weak. You are attacked because you are potent. The eclipse aftermath is a spiritual battlefield disguised as daily life. When you wake in the morning and feel heavy for no reason, know that it is the weight of collective shadows pressing against you. When your phone glitches, messages misfire, plans fall apart, know there is Mercury's trickster energy playing within the portal. When strangers lash out, when familiar faces suddenly feel foreign, understand that it is not them, but the energy puppeteering them. Do not take it personally, but do not dismiss it either. Every distortion you witness now is a clue, a signal, a map pointing you toward your own alignment. But only if you are awake enough to read it. This is why you must understand. The eclipse does not end when the shadow passes. It plants seeds, and those seeds grow in the dark. For weeks, sometimes months, after the eclipse, you will notice themes repeating like waves returning to shore. Patterns resurface. Old wounds knock at your door. Karmic lessons intensify until you either learn them or collapse under their weight. This is why people fall apart after eclipses, relationships ending, jobs collapsing, health crises erupting. But for the chosen, these collapses are not curses. They are recalibrations. The universe is not trying to destroy you. It is trying to strip you of what you can no longer carry. But to the unprepared, it feels like chaos. To the untrained, it feels like punishment. To the awakened, it is initiation. So hear this warning. You are in a window of distortion, magnification, revelation. The moon has lifted the veil, and nothing is as it seems. Energy moves like quicksand, now slow at first, then suddenly pulling you under if you are not vigilant. Those around you will fall into the traps with ease. They will lash out, chase distractions, lose themselves in addictions or sabotage. They're blessings without realizing they are playing into cosmic tests. But you must not. You must remember who you are, why you were chosen, why your light was placed in this timeline. The after effects are not random. They are sacred tests. And only those who move with awareness, only those who resist the traps, only those who remain aligned will rise into the new frequency waiting beyond this eclipse. The battle is not outside. It is inside. And your every choice now is prophecy. In the aftermath of this eclipse. Urgency will press against your chest like a weight, whispering, do something now. Decide quickly. Move faster. But this is the first trap. The cosmic energy is volatile, unstable, untrustworthy. Any decision made in haste now is like building a temple on shifting sand. It cannot last. The shadow frequencies know this. They tempt you to react, to choose, to sign, to leap before clarity returns. They make you believe opportunities are slipping away, but in truth, only illusions slip. The divine path never demands panic. Rash decisions are the snares most chosen ones fall into, mistaking impulse for intuition. But intuition whispers quietly, steadily, with peace even in urgency. Impulse, however, burns hot, demanding, anxious. In these days after the eclipse, you must not confuse the two. Wait, anchor. If something is truly aligned, it will remain when the storm clears. If something fades when you pause, it was never meant to be yours. Remember, every timeline choice is magnified now. A single reckless step can divert your destiny. Do not let the illusion of urgency rob you of divine timing. This is your first test. Do not fail it. The second trap is silence, the kind where you hear your inner voice and yet dismiss it. Because logic, fear, or external influence drowns it out. In this portal, intuition is your only compass. The moon has stirred the unconscious. Therefore, your dreams, your subtle feelings, your sudden hunches, they are not random. They are messages from the divine encoded guidance lighting the narrow path through the maze. But the shadow will try to convince you otherwise. It will say you're imagining things. It will tell you to trust others more than yourself. It will mock your knowing and replace it with doubt. And if you ignore your intuition now, the price is steep. For chosen ones, the inner voice is not just suggestion, it is protection. You guys are louder now, your spirit sharper, your body more sensitive to energy. Ignoring those signals is like covering your eyes while walking through fire. You must not silence your own soul. When the hunch comes, follow it. When the dream repeats, write it down. When the energy feels wrong, step away. To ignore your intuition in this window is to betray yourself. And betrayal of the self is the deepest wound you can inflict on your path. The third trap comes as fire arguments, conflicts, sudden outbursts. Mars is active in this eclipse aftermath, fueling irritation, igniting egos, amplifying tension. The collective is restless, and chaos energy seeks containers to inhabit. It will use people around you as puppets, pulling their strings so they lash out, provoke you, bait you into reaction. But you must not take the bait. Every argument is a siphon. Every conflict drains your field. The chosen ones are especially targeted because your energy is radiant, potent, delicious to the shadow. When you argue, your frequency dips, and in that lowered state, attachments find openings. Demonic energies slip in through anger, through resentment, through curses spoken in heat. This is not metaphor. It is energetic law. The eclipse aftermath magnifies all exchanges, so a single argument can ripple for weeks, poisoning your peace, fracturing relationships, even blocking blessings. Do not wrestle with shadows in human form. Walk away. Protect your peace like a fortress. Silence is not weakness here. It is strategy, it is mastery, it is survival. Those who seek to bait you are already ensnared. Do not join them in there. Chains, rise above, refuse the fire. Protect your crown. The fourth trap comes disguised as ordinary living. You may think nothing of stepping into a crowd, sitting in a busy cafe, walking through a shopping mall, scrolling endlessly through the collective noise of social media. But during this eclipse aftermath, the air is thick with energy you cannot see, like invisible dust swirling through every room. The collective field is unsettled, chaotic, filled with shadows stirred from the deep unconscious of billions of souls at once. And when you chosen one step into those fields without armor, your light becomes a beacon, attracting attachments, envy, projections, psychic hooks. This is not paranoia, it is energetic reality. Crowds amplify chaos. Public spaces carry residue. Digital realms echo with frequencies of fear, division, and addiction. Every stroll, every careless gaze, every casual interaction is a potential cord attaching to your aura. This is why you feel drained after being in certain places. Why headaches appear without reason. Why moods shift suddenly when you were fine moments before. In this season, exposure is vulnerability. Protect yourself. Limit unnecessary outings. Cleanse when you return. Curate your digital spaces with discernment. The eclipse aftermath is not the time to scatter your energy among them. Restless. You are a flame in a storm shield yourself, or risk being extinguished by winds that were never yours to carry. The fifth trap is the sweetest poison. The eclipse has shaken the soil of your spirit, and now the shadows rise to the surface, whispering. Cravings calling you toward the things you once used to numb the pain. Addictions, whether substances, food, sex, gambling, endless scrolling, or even toxic relationships become louder now because shadow energy seeks containers to root itself. And what better container than distraction? When you numb, you silence the very intuition meant to guide you through this maze. When you indulge compulsively, you open gateways for attachments to hook deeper. The chosen ones are prime targets. Because your fall is worth more? If the light bearer dims, many around them stumble. The shadow knows this. That is why temptation comes stronger. Dreams pull darker. Cravings grow heavier in this season. But you must remember, every desire in excess is a trap. Every distraction in this portal is an attempt to delay your awakening. You are not being tested with what you cannot handle. You are being tested with what you once believed you could not resist. This is not punishment. It is purification. Do not betray yourself by trading divine clarity for temporary comfort. Rise above the hunger. Remember that every time you resist, your spirit sharpens. Every time you choose presence over distraction, you ascend another step in the ladder the eclipse has revealed. The 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th traps braid together, like serpents slithering through your path. They come in whispers. Prove yourself. Keep moving. Don't stop. Skip your rituals. Forget your practice. It doesn't matter. These are the snares most will fall into. The desire for validation will rise, making you seek approval, recognition, applause. But in this season, external voices are distorted. What they give can lift you one day and destroy you the next. Do not hand your worth to unstable hands. Then comes the lie of endless movement, resisting rest, fearing stillness, running from silence. But the truth is, stillness is your shield now. Rest is the medicine, the portal where clarity arrives. Denying yourself rest is denying yourself revelation. And yet, discipline will also be tested. Your prayer life, your journaling, your fasting, your meditations all will feel harder, heavier, less rewarding. This is the shadow trying to cut the cords that connect you to your source. Do not abandon them. Even if your rituals feel dry, continue. Even if your prayers feel unanswered, continue. Even if your body resists, continue. For in this window, consistency is not about feeling, it is about anchoring. Lastly, the 9th trap is the ignoring of synchronicities and dreams. Numbers repeating, strange animal encounters, visions in sleep, these are not random. They are maps, signals from beyond, guiding you through the maze. To dismiss them is to throw away the compass you begged the universe to send. The traps are many, but they all lead to one truth. The eclipse has set the stage. And only discipline, awareness, and surrender can carry you across the threshold. Chosen one, the battlefield is not only fought with avoidance. It is secured with protection. You cannot simply resist the traps. You must also fortify your energy. The first pillar of protection in this eclipse aftermath is cleansing and grounding. Imagine your aura as a sacred temple after the eclipse. Dust and debris from the collective storm cling to its walls. If you do not cleanse, the residue becomes weight, the weight becomes weakness, and weakness becomes entry points for shadow energies. Salt baths, smoke cleanses, sound frequencies, and grounding barefoot on the earth are not trivial rituals, they are survival tools. Water holds memory and absorbs density. Fire burns away cords. Earth recenters your soul. Sound recalibrates your frequency. Each act of cleansing is a declaration. This energy is not mine. I release it now. Grounding roots you back into the divine grid beneath your feet, stabilizing your frequency so no illusion can carry you away. In this season, daily cleansing is non-negotiable. You must rinse, release, recalibrate, again and again. You are walking through energetic mud. Do not let it stain the garment of your spirit. The second shield is inner purification. The eclipse has pulled shadows to the surface, and they demand expression. If you suppress them, they fester. If you project them, they wound. But if you channel them into sacred practice, they transform. Journaling becomes a mirror of the soul, where unspoken fears and hidden truths are released from the prison of your mind. Fasting is not merely denial of food. It is a reclamation of mastery over desire. It sharpens spiritual sight, breaking the hold of distractions. Prayer is not pleading with the skies, it is aligning your vibration with the source, calling divine order into the chaos. Together, these practices weave a shield stronger than steel. In the eclipse aftermath, your inner landscape is fertile, but volatile. If you do not plant seeds of intention, weeds of chaos will grow. Journaling clears space, fasting sharpens focus, and prayer anchors light. These are not Optional disciplines, they're lifelines thrown to you by the divine. Neglect them, and you risk drowning in collective waves. Embrace them, and you rise untouchable. Like the lotus above murky waters, the third shield lies in harnessing the tools of the earth and sky. The moon, though eclipse, still pours her essence into water, and water remembers. Charging water. Under the eclipse or in the days after, yes, even in shadow infuses it with the lessons of this season. Drinking or anointing with it becomes a way of integrating wisdom into your body. Crystals, too, are not ornaments, but allies. Black tourmaline shields against psychic attack. Amethyst calms the mind, opening higher perception. Clear quartz amplifies your intention, turning thought into power. Selenite cleanses your aura like moonlight washing away stains. Carry them, sleep beside them, grid your space with them. The shadows stirred by this eclipse respect boundaries, but only if you set them. Tools are not superstition. They are agreements with the Earth's frequency. When you hold a crystal, when you sip moon water, when you wear protection sigils, you are saying, I am aligned with the divine grid. You cannot enter here. And the unseen forces listen. Equip yourself, fortify your field. Every tool, when paired with intention, becomes armor. The fourth shield is surrender. This may be the hardest for the chosen ones because your spirit longs to move, to create, to manifest. But in this season, forcing outcomes is another trap disguised as progress. The eclipse has shifted timelines. Some doors are now closed, others not yet ready to open. If you push, you will break yourself against divine order. If you wait, you align with it. The chosen path is not about acceleration, it is about precision. Every seed has its season. A rose forced to bloom early withers. A harvest pulled too, soon rots in the hand. The shadows whisper, hurry, push, for the divine whispers, trust, align, receive. You must resist the urge to bend time to your will and instead step into the flow of divine timing. Watch synchronicities, notice delays, respect pauses. Each is guidance. To force now is to fracture. To surrender now is to ascend. Let the universe move the pieces while you anchor your light. This is the highest protection alignment. For when you are aligned, no shadow can touch you. No trap can hold you. No storm can uproot you. Most will not see this season as sacred. Most will mistake the fever for freedom, the collapse for climax, the unraveling for awakening, and in that fatal misreading, they will fall. You watch them now, hurried, hungry, grasping for quick fixes, gossiping like moths around the flame that is not theirs to touch. The eclipse aftershocks have sown a field of illusions that looks like opportunity to the unawakened jobs that glitter but hollow the soul, relationships that promise rescue but drain lifeblood, causes that demand sacrifice without offering truth. These are the siren songs. They swell louder each day because the shadow wants companions. It wants to rope the many into the same slow spiral where light fades unnoticed. You will see people you love stumble into these snares, friends who once knew themselves, lovers who forget vows, leaders who trade integrity for applause. This is the crucible. The mass will choose comfort over courage, distraction over discipline, immediate gratification over the slow alchemy of genuine change. And the chillest truth is this: you will be tempted to pity them, to intervene, to rescue. But influence without sovereignty often becomes another way in. Your role is not to fix the whole world tonight. It is to hold the line for your share of the light. Let the falling be their teacher if they must learn that way. Your work is to rise where others fall, to become a lighthouse that does not waver when fog arrives, to keep your hands clean from the mud that makes the many forget their names. This season separates the wheat from the chaff, and only those who feed their spirit with discipline, ritual, and fierce inner listening will remain. Be relentless in your devotion. Be tender with your heart. Watch without plunging. And know this is the hour when destinies are either sealed or split. Choose wisely. The urgency you feel now is sacred, not a panic, but a summons. The cosmos is inviting you to remember the covenant you made before embodiment, to carry light through dark places, to name truth where falsehood would reign. To be a vessel for healing even when the air around you tastes of iron and deception. The 9 traps are many, and yet their antidotes are simple and absolute. Presence, patience, purification, practice. Your days must become rituals, your breaths prayers, your pauses altars. When the phone pings with gossip, let it die unread. When the crowd pushes for spectacle, step aside and breathe into your belly. When the old addictions sing, sit with the craving until it reveals what it masks. Each small refusal is a brick in the fortress of your sovereignty. The world will try to measure you by noise followers, likes, deals, but the true measure is unseen. Integrity of intention, constancy of practice, the quiet expansion of compassion. Most will fail because the path of least resistance is paved, with illusions dressed as shortcuts. You, chosen one, were not built for the shortcut. You were built for the long, luminous climb where each tested step polishes light into diamond. Remember, the after effects are not a curse, but a sifting. They will pull everything light from the counterfeit. If you maintain your rituals, honor your rest, listen to the dreams, and refuse the bait of validation, you will not only survive, you will become the remnant the new world needs. Hold fast. Keep sacred the small things. In the unglamorous acts of discipline, you will find the anchors that keep you afloat when the rest of the world is drowned in spectacle. This is your moment to demonstrate not how loud you can be, but how steadfast got now. At the edge of night and dawn, hear this final decree as if it were carved into the bones of the world. The eclipse has spoken, but the aftershocks are testing. They will prod your weaknesses, parade your past and present desires wearing the masks of destiny. Do not be fooled by their theater. Avoid the traps, protect your energy, and you will rise where others fall. Make your rituals non-negotiable, your boundaries sacred, your rest a holy appointment. Let moon water cleanse what words cannot let. Crystals stand like sentries at the threshold. Let your journal be the map you consult when the world's compass spins wildly. Trust the quiet nudges of intuition more than the clamor of the crowd. When the rush to act swells, breathe and remember. The rhythm of divine timing. When the desire for validation claws at your ribs, place your hand over your heart and remember who called you here. This is not just survival. This is your initiation. The tests are not punishments, but rites. Pass them with grace, and the doors will open not because you forced them, but because you became the kind of light that the new world can trust. The moon pulled shadows up to be seen. Now you must choose whether to be consumed by what rises or to transmute it into fuel for your ascent. Choose ascension. Choose discipline. Choose love that is steady and luminous. This is your hour. Stand. Luminous. Stand unshakable. Stand chosen.